I don't understand why it's so difficult to confirm an appointment.
I know, I'm so...
An appointment is an arrangement to meet someone at a particular time and place. Miranda is being sarcastic with her comment, as confirming a meeting is not a difficult task at all, and by saying this she is actually being rude towards her assistant, as it's evident that it should not be a difficult task for her.
To confirm an appointment.
I know, I'm so sorry, Miranda. I actually did
The
confirm last
details of
night.
your incompetence do not interest me.
If you watch this movie, you probably know that Miranda speaks with very formal vocabulary. However, as you can see in this sentence, formal is not a synonym of polite. Let's listen to it again.
Details of your incompetence do not interest me.
If someone is incompetent, it means that that person doesn't have the necessary skills to do something successfully. As you can imagine, calling someone incompetent is extremely rude. On top of that, Miranda does something that is also very impolite, which is interrupting. She doesn't let Emily finish her sentence, and she does this only to tell her that she doesn't care about her reasons.
Drive to drop me off at 9:30 and pick me up at 9:45 sharp.
The word sharp is commonly used as a way of saying precisely. Example, the meeting starts at 9:15 sharp. Here, Miranda uses two great phrasal verbs, drop off and pick up. While the first one is used to say that you leave someone at a certain destination, the second one means to collect someone from a certain place. Miranda is saying that she wants to arrive at 9:30 and leave at 9:45, and not a minute before or after that.
Also, tell Richard I saw all the pictures that he sent for that feature on the female paratroopers, and they're all so deeply unattractive.
A paratrooper is a soldier that is trained to be dropped by parachute from an aircraft, like this. Miranda is using two advanced pieces of vocabulary that are great to replace these two common words. Very, for deeply, and ugly, for unattractive. However, as you can imagine, it's not nice at all to refer to someone in this way.
Is it impossible to find a lovely, slender female paratrooper?
No.
Am I reaching for the stars here?
No.
Not really.
Here, Miranda is using sarcasm again to say that it shouldn't be difficult to find a beautiful paratrooper. She actually uses a very common expression to do this. Let's listen to it again.
Am I reaching for the stars here?
No.
Not really.
If you say that you reach for the stars, you are actually saying that you have very high ambitions or want to try and get something that's difficult. Let's see another example of this expression.
Sorry, it's not part of my heartwarming and personal narrative in which a humble boy from New Delhi overcame poverty and prejudice and journeyed to America to reach for the stars.
I wonder if she's lost any of that weight yet. Who is that?
This is probably one of the rudest things that Miranda says. Can you identify the problem with the sentence? By saying that, Miranda is treating Andy as if she was a thing. She should actually have said, "Who is she?" or "Who is this lady?"
Human Resources sent her up about the new assistant job, and I was sort of pre-interviewing her for you, but she's hopeless and totally
Well,
wrong. So.
clearly I'm going to have to do that myself.
In big companies, it's common to do pre-interviews to learn more about a candidate for a certain position and to see if that person is actually qualified for the job. By saying that Andy is hopeless, Emily means that she is not competent for the job.
Clearly I'm going to have to do that myself because the last two you sent me were completely inadequate, so send her in.
By using the word inadequate, Miranda is saying that none of the candidates were good enough for the job.
She wants to see you. Oh, move!
As you can see, rudeness is part of this workplace, as using imperatives is not polite at all. A polite way to say this could be, "Please go to Miranda's office, she will meet you now."
This is foul. Don't let her see you. Go!
Something foul is disgusting or dirty. Example, there is a foul smell.
My name is Andy Sachs. I recently graduated from Northwestern University.
In this scene, we are going to be able to see the contrast between Andy and Miranda, as Andy is doing a really good job talking about herself, but Miranda is just being rude. Andy is saying that she recently graduated. That means that she finished university not so long ago.
What are you doing here?
Here we have two important things not to do in order to be polite. There are two equally important things when it comes to communication, verbal and non-verbal, and Miranda fails in both. Let's see why. First, Miranda interrupts Andy and doesn't allow her to complete her sentence. Second, body language is really important too. Here you can see that Andy smiles and looks at Miranda, showing interest in her. On the other hand, Miranda shows that she doesn't care about her by doing something else while she speaks.
You have no style or sense of fashion.
By saying this, Miranda is remarking that Andrea's looks are bad as she doesn't follow any fashion trends.
I was editor-in-chief of the Daily Northwestern. I also won a national competition for college journalists with my series on the Janitors Union, which exposed the exploitation of...
An editor-in-chief is the principal person responsible for managing the editorial content of a magazine or newspaper. Here, Andrea is showing that she is actually qualified for the job, as she is an experienced journalist and worked as an editor-in-chief for her university's newspaper. However, Miranda interrupts her again to say that the interview is finished, but again she uses her hands to ask Andy to leave, treating her with contempt, as if she is worthless.
Yeah, okay. You're right. I don't fit in here. I am not skinny or glamorous, and I don't know that much about fashion, but...
Fashion usually involves glamour, which is a sort of combination of charm and good looks. By saying this, Andrea says that she doesn't belong to this place as she is not skinny or glamorous.
Thank you for your time.
This is a very polite phrase that is very common to close an interview or any other event. Let's see some examples of it.
This one is an example of go home and do it again. I think you know what I mean, Mrs. Vigushin. Brown paper and triple twist twine are the preferred media. Thank you for your time.
On the plus side, it was a good kiss, reasonable technique, no extraneous spittle. On the other hand, no arousal.
None?
None.
Ah. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.